The first thing I want you to think about is, are you in the business you want to be in? Because there's no better time than now to decide if you're not. Because getting into a business is so easy. It's a shame to spend your entire life in a business that isn't producing you the kind of money you want it to produce, or isn't providing you the benefits you want it to provide. So I want you to think about that for a minute. Are you in the business that you really want to be in? And we're going to talk about how to evaluate a business and how to evaluate the business that you're in. In doing that, I want you to understand this tiny little concept, and that is that almost all businesses have constraints. Constraints are things that limit the business. So if we were in a restaurant business, the restaurant business has some constraints, and that is, how big is the physical floor of your restaurant? And it's difficult to expand your business outside of that, right? So you have some constraints in a restaurant by just the physical location. There's ways we can overcome those, but we haven't. In real estate, you have some constraints, and that is, especially for you, is how much time do you have during the day to sell real estate? You can't do it 24 hours a day. And so you have, it's like a fence around your business, and that is you can't grow beyond this certain constraint, okay? In the furniture business, office furniture business, you're limited in size as to how big the population base is that you serve, okay? You're not going to serve people 2 states away from here, right? You're going to serve people mainly in this city, mainly in this state, but that's a constraint. You see that? Now, all of these constraints can be overcome. But to overcome them, we have to change the nature of our business. We have to change our business plan. Okay? The main purpose of owning a small business is not to make money, although it's very important. The main purpose of starting a business is to identify a niche that needs to be filled, to see how big that niche is and how large it can grow. A small business is very different from a large business. Not in the fact that a small business is small and a large business is large. A small business is looking for a business model that works, a customer base that has needs, and something that we can fill and fill profitably. A large business isn't looking for that. A large business has already found that. And so a large business is focused almost exclusively on executing the business plan. You're not there yet. You're still finding your business plan. You're still finding what works. You're still finding your niche, who your customers are. And then in this course, we're going to help you put that together in a way that might increase your upside. Now, it's been my experience that students that will take this course and apply the principles, within the first year, they will triple their business. I generally make a couple of millionaires a year. I hope you're among them. Okay? All right. So
that's a good start.
You like that? You with me then?
All ears.
So I had a student email me just a couple weeks ago. He says, I took your class a year ago. He says, in the last year, I've made $4 million. And I said, well, that's a good start, but let's keep going anyway. So it's very doable. The first thing I want you to think about in your current business or in the business you want to start, and that is, what is the problem you're trying to solve for your customer? Now, we all think we know what that problem is, but I want you to think deeply about that. What is the problem you're trying to solve for your customers? So Marla, for you, your customer really are not your students. It's the parents, right? And so what is the problem you solve for your parents?
Who's going to pick them up after school?
Yes, I agree with that 100%, but it's not deep enough. Okay, here's what I want you to think about, is that by having the parents bring these students to this art class, the parents have an emotional response to that.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
There's I'm doing good things for my kids. Mm-hmm. My kids are going to be better for this.
Yes.
And to some degree, I get a little bit of a break. Okay? And I'm not sure it's in exactly that order, okay? But the emotional response, the emotional need that you feel for your customers is huge. Mm-hmm. And customers buy 100% on emotion. Mm-hmm. And they justify it with logic. It doesn't even have to be good logic, but they justify it. And so when you think of the problem you're solving for your customers, I want you to think, what's the emotional problem that my customers get out of buying my service? And then you can really get to where you are. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Matt, did you have a question?
Not well formed.
Okay, very good. I'm sure it'll bubble up. Okay? Okay. So let's talk a little bit about what business you want to be in. I can't tell you how easy it is to start a business. It's the easiest thing in the world. If you're not in the business you want to be in, let's identify what it is and let's figure out how to get there. But there's no reason for you to stay in a business you don't want to be in. Now, I want you to think about a concept that most people don't understand, and that is the 3 levels of owning a business, or the 3 levels of income. So most people think that the only way they can make money is to have a job. And jobs are absolutely the worst thing in the world. Okay? They are the worst thing in the world. And the thing I hate most about jobs is you have to show up. Okay?
Early.
I mean, early. So, you think about this, you say, well, I have this job, and one, they're paying me wholesale and selling me at retail, but if I don't come to work, I don't get paid. And it takes up my whole day. I can't imagine why jobs are that popular, because they're really terrible.
It feels like it takes away your creativity as well.
Yeah, just shut up and do this, okay? Don't think about it, just shut up and do this, okay? Okay, so jobs are one level of income. And with a job, the only level of income that there is are wages. That's it. A job equals wages, and a job equals your time. You can't subcontract out your job. They want you to show up. If you're sick, you don't get paid. If you go on vacation, you are working for someone else. So a job, in my view, is kind of the worst. And I'm speaking to the choir here, okay? But then we may have a little bit of courage. We may step out of our job and say, well, I want to start a business. And so we go up to the next level, and that is, I'm self-employed. Being self-employed is almost as bad as having a job, because you still have to go to work every day. And if you don't work, there is no income. And the problem we have with people that are self-employed is they think they're in a business, but they're not. They just are self-employed. They're not in a business, and so their profits are their wages. And you ask someone who's self-employed if they're profitable, they'll say yes. But they're not. They're breaking even. Because if you had to pay them for what they do, they wouldn't be making any money at all. Their profit would be zero, but they get paid wages. And so we have employment, which is terrible. We have self-employment, which is a little bit better, but it's still nowhere.
And a longer lunch.
You have a longer lunch, you have more flexibility. Your boss is certainly better than the one you had before. Okay?
And you take all the credit.
But you still have the disadvantage that you've got to go to work every day. And if you don't work, the income stops. And that's why the next level is business. And a business has marvelous things about it. And that a business, now we start to have some advantages of, I can hire other people to do the work that I have been doing. And when I hire other people to do the work that I have been doing, I can make income when other people are working for me. And so we decouple my work from my income. I can work much less and make more money. And so in a business, we not only have wages, I can be paid for the work I do, but we also have profits. Where in self-employment, my wages were my profits. In a business, profit and wages are two different things, and I can get both. Okay? The other benefit of a business is I don't have to go to work every day.
Yes.
Okay? In fact, my income is not tied to my efforts at all. It's tied to my direction or my management skills. But I can work a great deal at another business and still have this business going on. I view it as kind of a plate spinners. You may not remember these old jugglers. They would get these long poles and they put plates on these things. They'd spin this plate and then they'd do another and spin this plate. And that's, it's just, to me, these are multiple businesses. And when this plate starts to wobble, I come in, I spin this, and then I go back to my seat, and then this one I spin this one. So it's plate spinners. So you can have multiple businesses going and make multiple sources of income if you're a business owner. Yes, Marla.
Side question, especially in this pandemic, I've thought, what if I had to close?
Yes.
Right? And so are you going to talk about spinning those plates? Because
Yes.
again, we talked about this earlier, once you know the formula, I look now at other businesses that I could potentially go into, and I think, how many plates can I spin?
Yeah. How many plates would you like to spin?
I think I need to diversify my portfolio.
I agree.
So probably at least another 2.
Yeah, very good. So the pandemic is an aberration. It's once in a lifetime. We'll never have this again.
Yeah.
Okay? So we don't want to build our business around this event.
Yeah.
We want to build our businesses around good, solid principles that work constantly. And we'll talk more about that, but it's a very good question. Okay?
Ralph.
Yes.
You said that the pandemic is something that won't ever happen in our lifetime.
I
but-
said aberration. I didn't mean aberration, but it's once in a lifetime. It's real, but it's once in a lifetime. Go on.
Okay. That's part of the business model that I like to create, that it is like pandemic proof. Because, I mean,
There's nothing that's going to be pandemic proof. You're never going to find a business that is bulletproof against all things.
oh, okay.
But you can eliminate a lot of the common things that are happening.
Okay. That's
Okay.
the thing that I'd like to
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah,
So,
Grant?
to me, spinning more than 2 plates, which I'm kind of doing right now, seems really, really hard.
Yeah.
But if I'm understanding you correctly, because you've been able to disassociate your labor from your ability to make money, then your management time becomes that much. Your time to manage stuff becomes a lot greater, and you have more time to spin more plates.
Yes. So a business properly set up, Matt, you should be able to run in about 90 minutes a day.
Okay.
If you're spending more than 90 minutes, you're not doing it very well.
Okay.